Hello Game Makers, this is Game Maker Rob, and today we are going to be covering music and sound. Let's get started. Okay, so before I begin, I just want to explain how we are going to do the music side of things. We are going to have an object called OBJ Audio Manager, and this object is going to check exactly what's going on and what piece of music to play. The benefit of that is everything is in one place. Anyway, to facilitate that, we're going to go into our OBJ init, our favorite object, into the create event, and we're going to have a new region called region sound. I've just plonked it between player stats and warp variables. There's no rhyme or reason for that. And we're going to be using music states to determine what song to play. So you're probably going to want to have more than I have right here, but this is just an example to show you how it's going to work. Quiet doesn't have any music file to it. It's set to -1 for the song. So what we're using this for is so there isn't a change straight away from one song to another. There's a slight pause. You can take that out if you don't want it or make it longer. That's very easy to do. It's just based on a timer. And the rest of these are just music to play under certain conditions. This one plays when we're selecting save files. These three play depending on the type of room. So whether it's a village or a world or a dungeon, 3 different songs will play. Battle plays during battle, and victory plays if the player wins. This isn't an exhaustive list. It doesn't cover the player dying or title menu, things like that. Hopefully you'll get the idea from this though, and it shouldn't. It's a modular system, so it should be quite easy to add things in as long as you understand what's going on. We've got a small enumerator for music stats, so basically what song is being played and does it loop or not. Most of these are going to be true because we want the music to keep playing. For the victory, I prefer my victory music just to play one time, so that's why I have loops set to false. And now we're going to create the audio manager object. So just make a new object, make sure that it is set to persistent, and in the create event we're going to set its state to quiet, so it's not going to play anything straight away. And state wanted, if you recall, I said we're going to have a small transition between the song that's playing and the song that we want to play. This is the song that we want to play. So say for example we move from the village to the world map. The state will still be village, the state wanted will be world, and after like a few seconds, room speed, that's when the music state will change into world. Current sound is just going to hold the ID of the sound file that we're playing, and that's how we're going to be able to manipulate stop and start the song. Timer, time till switch. This is just the interval between switching tracks. Like I said, you can make this for as long and as short as you want. If you don't want any interval, just make it 0, for example. Okay, in a step event, so let's just minimize that region. So first of all, we want to check which song should be playing, if any. Okay, so if we inside OBJ init, if the state is save slots, that means we're choosing which save slot to play. It also means the state that we want for the audio manager is the choose save file state. So that's why we changed state wanted to choose save file. It's pretty much the same for these 3. We just check what room type it is. We're making good use of our global room type variable. It just changes the state wanted based on the type of room. If you have if you want to have different music tracks for different rooms, just add more enumerators and just add more if statements here. That's all you need to do. It might not be, I don't know if it's the most elegant way of doing it, but it works and it's just really easy to add new things. So that's why I thought it would be a good thing for beginners to use. This one's a little bit more complicated. This is for the battle spawner. Basically, we're going to check to make sure that there is an instance of battle spawner. And we want to check that the battle spawner state is ready. That means there's a battle ongoing. So if it is ready and victory state is in it, that means there's no winner yet. So the player and monster are still fighting it out. Then we're going to set it to battle. Otherwise, if the player's won, then we're going to set it to victory. And in this second region, so if state is not equal to state wanted, which it won't be, because we're only setting state wanted to this state here, then we're going to have a little delay. So if we're going to increase the timer by 1 every step until it gets to this amount, and then we're going to set state to state wanted, and song to play just grabs the sound file name from inside the array that we just made inside obj init. Loops or not is going to be true or false, and then we're going to save this inside current sound, so we can just stop and start it like here. So audio stop sound, current sound will stop whatever song is playing from playing, and that's how we're going to manage it. It's a very straightforward system. There's not much more to it really. Are we ready to run the game? I think we can run the game now. Oh, it would help if we made the object first though. So inside obj init in the create event, we're just going to have a line here to create the audio manager. And remember, audio manager needs to be persistent. So if we run the game, we should get some music when the save files load. There we go. And then if we enter the village, a new sound plays. Let's go to the world. And then back to the village. And if we have a battle, let's just kill these guys as fast as we can. We're going to be covering battle sounds next, don't worry. I've got some very special sounds for this. Let me just get through this battle as fast as I can. I just want to make sure that the victory music plays properly.
2,000 years later.
Okay, cool. So this is the victory music. If you listen to it for long enough, it'll just stop. There we go. And now it's back to playing the world music. So it looks like everything's working from that end, and now we are going to have the battle sound effects. Okay, so now we are going to get into the attack sounds, that kind of thing. It might actually help if I show you how I have the sound resources set up. So up here, inside this music folder, I've got all the music sounds that we're just playing. I've got 6 attack sounds, 3 for the hero, 3 for the monsters. One of these is randomly picked every time the hero or monster attacks. The way that I have this set up though is you can have different sounds for different monsters. You don't have to have 3, but you can have more. It's entirely up to you. Again, it's very modular. Player input is just a sound for moving the cursors up and down, just so the player knows something's happening. Okay, so again inside the obj init create event, inside the sound region, we've got a new enumerator. We've got 2 sound types. We've got the hero sound type and the slime sound type, and this small array just sets up the sound that we're going to use for the 2 different sound types. So 3 for the hero, 3 for the slimes. And then we need to update the monster stats as well. So in the monster stats enumerator, we need to add sound type at the bottom, and then every monster needs its own entry, like this. But to be honest, if you're going to make them all the same, you could just update them in a simple for loop. The reason I've typed it out like this is, again, I would expect people to have different sounds for different creatures. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised with the sound effect that I selected for the slimes too. Did quite a bit of research. Spent many hours on the internet trying to find the perfect sounds, and I think I've done a good job. I hope you'll all be pleasantly surprised. Last of all, we are going to need to update our battle spawner object. So let's go to the top. So if state is ready, if we press OK, inside the main region, we want to play menu sound. So we need to check it's the player's turn, and that's option state is main. That means the menu is going to be up. Or we're trying to choose a target. So if one of these two conditions are true, we want to play the input sound. And then further down, we want player input. So here we are. So we're inside the player turn region player input. Right underneath where we have if global.press cancel, still within the same if statement. We're still within if accepted player input is true. We're checking for pressed cancel or press down, press left, right or up. If any of these are true, and it's also player's turn and main state, or we're choosing target, then we want to play the input sound as well. And then the last thing we need to do, if you do a search for SCR attack, let's do the player one first. So where we are is after the battle over region, we've got our own separate, it's not a region, but separate area for the attack. And we want to play the sound at the same time we run the attack script. So in the future, I may make an episode where we have sound effects for the spell scripts. All I would do basically is run the sound effects from inside the spell script. It'll just run once, no matter who's casting the spell. The reason I have the sound code outside of SCR attack is just because the heroes and the monsters do not share the same kind of array. So I can't just check for an array entry sound type. That's the only reason. So anyway, we're just going to say the sound type is hero. Attack sound is going to be between 0 to 2. I'm just going to play whatever entry is in 0, 1 or 2. And then we're just going to play the sound. We don't want the sound to loop, so we're setting it to false here. Priority. The audio with a higher priority will get played over other sounds if GameMaker can't handle the amount of sounds going on. I've never really had that problem though, to be honest. Sound type is the actual sound file. So for example, SND hero attack 1 could be sound type. And let's just do the monster one as well. Here we are. So we're inside monster turn region. The code is very similar, although this time we're going to grab it from the array. This means that you can just change the array to have different sound effects, and this code will stay the same regardless. So now that we've done all that, we're going to run the game one more time and make sure all of this works. So here we go, some Street Fighter 2 effects for the player. And some authentic slime sounds. And that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I will catch you next time. Bye for now.